One video raised $1 million for suicide prevention. Another creator admitted severe depression while being YouTube's face of positivity. And a catastrophic mistake became the most unlikely mental health advocacy campaign in internet history. For years, YouTube was all perfect smiles and curated happiness. Then the cracks started showing. These 11 moments shattered the silence and changed how an entire generation talks about mental health. Starting at 2019, Twitch streamer Dr. Lupo is mid-broadcast when he sees it, a viewer in chat expressing suicidal thoughts. The game stops instantly. Dr. Lupo pauses everything, speaks directly to the viewer with genuine concern.
In chat right now, there's a suicide helpline. Please call that right now. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Please call that right now. 1-800-273-8255.
Gets them connected to a support system in real time. The clip goes viral across all platforms. Here's why it matters. It showed creators everywhere that the bond with their audience isn't just about entertainment. It's real, it's powerful, and sometimes it's literally life-saving. One moment of compassion became a wake-up call about the responsibility that comes with building a community. Number 10, 2018. A campaign with a name that said everything. Seize the awkward. The facts were stark. 76% of young people turn to a friend first when struggling, but most feel too awkward to start the conversation about mental health. The Ad Council, the JED Foundation, and the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention partnered with YouTube's biggest stars. One of the most visible, Jessie Page. She shared her own stories, encouraged her audience to check in on friends. The message was simple but revolutionary. You don't need to be an expert to help. You just need to ask, "Are you okay?" and actually listen.
Are you okay?
The campaign reframed awkward conversations as acts of courage and gave millions permission to just start talking.
Is everything okay?
Number 9. Hannah Hart, My Drunk Kitchen. Puns, positivity, joy. But behind the camera, she was dealing with major depressive disorder. In her 2016 memoir and videos that followed, she opened up about something tricky: high-functioning depression. In a video for the Child Mind Institute, she spoke to her younger self. That crippling fog in your mind? There's a word for it. It's depression.
Dear me, and tell you some things you already don't have to worry about. Don't worry about the way you look too much.
It's not that you're somehow flawed. You can do something about it. This wasn't one dramatic breakdown. This was the exhausting reality of living with a chronic condition while being one of YouTube's most successful comedians. Hannah showed that depression doesn't always look like what you see in movies. Sometimes it looks like your favorite creator making you laugh while quietly struggling. Number 8. What if your symptoms are so bizarre you can't even describe them? British musician Dottie Clark was already talking about anxiety. Then she went deeper, documenting her experience with depersonalization derealization disorder, DPDR. The terrifying feeling of being detached from your own body, watching your life like it's on a screen. Reality doesn't feel real. For thousands of viewers suffering in silence with the same bewildering symptoms, these videos were a revelation. Suddenly, their private horror had a name, a community formed around shared experience. Dottie proved one of the most powerful things a creator can do: give language to what feels unspeakable. Number 7. Grace Helbig, YouTube OG who wove mental health into her comedy long before it was common. 2017, she uploaded How I Manage Depression. Not a dramatic confession, a practical guide to getting through the day. Making your bed to start with a win. Forcing yourself to be social when your brain screams to isolate. Using running to outrun the demons in the head.
the video. I've been managing my own anxiety and whatever feelings for years and years now.
By framing it as management techniques, Grace did something revolutionary. She made depression feel less like an unbeatable monster and more like a chronic condition you can learn to live with. Vulnerability with actionable advice. That combination changed the conversation. Number 6. Tyler Oakley. Didn't just talk about mental health, he turned his platform into a fundraising machine. As one of YouTube's most powerful LGBTQ+ voices, Tyler became a fierce advocate for the Trevor Project, crisis intervention and suicide prevention for LGBTQ+ youth.
In 2008, when I was 19 years old, I read a letter that I found on the Trevor Project.
His birthday month campaigns raised staggering amounts. 2014 alone, over $525,000. Total over the years, past $1 million. This wasn't passive awareness, this was mobilizing an entire community and showing them their collective power. Tyler proved a YouTuber's influence could be measured not just in views, but in tangible, life-saving resources, funding phone lines, counseling, support systems. One person's courage creates a ripple effect that empowers countless others. If you believe in this conversation, hit that like button and subscribe. Drop a comment. Which creator's story had the biggest impact on you? Now let's get to the top 5, where the moments get even more powerful. Number 5. For years, creator burnout was dismissed. How can someone who plays games for a living be stressed? Philip DeFranco, one of YouTube's most trusted news commentators, changed that narrative. He talked about his own exhaustion, the algorithm pressure, the content treadmill that never stops. Because his channel was news, not just entertainment, his words carried different weight. He wasn't confessing, he was reporting. Phil validated the struggles of fellow creators and helped shift the narrative from individual weakness to industry-wide professional hazard. He made creator mental health credible to a skeptical audience and gave creators permission to admit they were struggling.
This story isn't just going to be me rehashing what Elle Mills said in her video. In fact, a lot of these stories, a lot of what these people are saying, it's not really unique. And understand, that's not a bash. I am happy that more people are being open.
Number 4. Jacksepticeye, Sean McLaughlin, Human Supernova. His brand? Positive Mental Attitude, PMA, shouted with infectious energy that earned him tens of millions of fans. For over 5 years, he uploaded multiple videos almost every single day. Mid-2018, the supernova flickered. Visibly exhausted, Sean announced his first real break ever. The relentless schedule had drained the joy from his work, caused him to isolate for weeks. The king of positivity admitted he was not okay.
PMA is about waking up at the start of the day, thinking about some positives and trying your best to get through that day in a positive frame of mind.
For creators and audiences alike, this was seismic. Rest isn't quitting. No algorithm is more important than your well-being. Sean's radical act of self-care and a culture that worshipped the grind sent a message millions needed to hear. Number 3. Early 2010s YouTube. Haul videos, makeup tutorials, aspirational perfection everywhere. Mental health, not part of the conversation. Then came Zoella. To millions of fans, Zoe Sugg was the charming, relatable big sister. Then she let them in on a secret. She was struggling, badly. Panic attacks and severe anxiety that haunted her since she was a teen, feeling trapped in her own home, learning coping mechanisms. In a world of curated perfection, this was unheard of, especially from a star of her magnitude.
That kind of makes it sound like I have some scary alter ego and at night I turn into a werewolf, or I am in fact a vampire or something really weird, but it's not of that nature, although that would be very cool.
She later became a digital ambassador for mental health charity Mind.
Hello everyone, I'm Zoe, otherwise known as Zoella, and I am super excited to be joining Mind as a digital ambassador, as it's something I feel really passionately about.
For millions of young people who felt the same but didn't have the words, Zoella's confession was a watershed moment. She made it okay to talk about anxiety for an entire generation. Number 2. If Zoella pioneered the intimate confession, Markiplier took it to institutional scale. Mark Fischbach, gaming titan with tens of millions of fans, consistently used his platform to advocate for mental wellness.
Mental health is an interesting subject because everybody knows about it, but nobody really knows how to talk about it. And no matter how much experience you have, there's no easy way to tell your friend that they seem off.
His biggest contribution? Joining the Seize the Awkward campaign. Mark spoke directly to camera, not as a character, as himself. No matter how much experience you have, there's no easy way to tell your friend that they seem off, but you should do it anyway. Coming from one of the biggest creators on the planet, in partnership with major suicide prevention organizations, the message was amplified beyond belief. A mainstream superstar told a global audience, looking out for your friends is a core community value. Number 1 isn't a story of vulnerability, it's one born from disaster. Late 2017, Logan Paul was one of the biggest, most controversial creators on Earth. Then he uploaded the Suicide Forest video. The backlash was immediate, global, devastating. YouTube deplatformed him. Sponsorships evaporated. He became an outcast. Career over. After silence, he returned, not with a simple apology, but with a 7-minute documentary, Suicide, Be Here Tomorrow. A gut-wrenching interview with Kevin Hines, who survived jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge, Dr. John Draper from the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
So one of the things that is so important about reducing stigma is getting stories out there about people positively coping with suicide.
Logan pledged $1 million to suicide prevention organizations, started with $250,000 immediately. The video got tens of millions of views.
No, that was part of the problem, it's just my ignorance on the subject.
But in Ohio, where you come from, it's the second leading cause of...
From a quiet Twitch intervention to a global news event, mental health on YouTube has undergone radical change. These creators chose honesty over perfection, risked their careers to speak truth, and learned that their platforms came with profound responsibility. These 11 moments normalized therapy, destigmatized medication, gave names to confusing disorders, championed checking on a friend. They proved vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a superpower. The silence is broken, but the conversation is far from over. Behind every username is a human being, and the most important part of any community is how it cares for its own. Which moment hit you hardest? Drop it in the comments. If this video mattered to you, share it with someone who needs to see it. Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself.